Hi everyone, thanks for looking in again. I hope you're getting a bit of benefit from what I'm saying, even if I'm not particularly giving out any winners or any selections, only the one each day so far. Um, Firstly, a quick rundown of yesterday's racing. Strong Suit, like I suggested, might return to form after a breathing off and was given a masterful ride by Richard Hughes, even though I think Codemaster still made further improvement, it weren't good enough. But if Codemaster still want to follow, I think, from the race. In the Windsor Forest, they keep going about for these races. They're not to bet in, and this was a good case in point. Not much separating, a fairly modest bunch, I think, as time will hopefully tell. Prince of Wales, there's a lot said about it, as I made the point yesterday. I thought, so you think I'd been well placed to win a couple of moderately contested races and wouldn't back him. Frankie gave Ree Widlin a great ride, but he broke the rules. He hit the horse 24 times, hard or not, who knows? If Ryan Moore had matched the number of times he hit, so you think, would he have hung on? Rules are rules, and you cannot choose which ones you go by and which ones you break. There are reasons for them. If you don't agree with them, you need to get them changed, not blatantly break them, because the prize money and the horse's value will be dramatically increased if you win. I personally think that unless on the grounds of danger to horse or rider, the number of times you hit a horse has to be set by the horse racing authorities, jockeys, and vets. And then after the jockey does breaks those rules, he has to get a 3 month ban. No inquiry, just count the whipped strikes and automatically a ban. And if that don't work, then the next time he does it, get a full season worldwide ban. That will soon stop it and it make it fair racing for everyone. Horses give their all for us. Some of them pay the ultimate price. Sadly, one or two of mine have done that. And I love horses, and I don't like to see them battered and beaten up. I like to see them cajoled along, etc., but not excessively beaten. Right, rant over. Hunt Cup, we got about right. We got it right about the draw, but not much else. Proponent ran like there was something wrong all the way, hanged most of the way. Not a going day for it at all. Worth watching later on the season, but disappointing run for us really. Queen Mary, again, as I keep going on about, fillies are not the most consistent and other ones can find improvement unexpectedly, as happened here when the favourite was pipped. Another fillies race where my tentative selection, Cape Della, was cruising and then got badly hampered. Whether she would have won or not, I don't really think so. But you can think that she might have done. I don't know. But she's worth keeping an eye on now because obviously she's gradually coming back to form. She's taken a few races like she did last season, but she's getting there. So on to my favourite day's racing, Ladies' Day, where all the fillies are dressed to kill in their expensive outfits, and I can only wish that I was a few years younger and a bit richer to join them for champers. But let's just up the rain that keeps falling. Doesn't spoil things for them. I think it's stopping now from what I've heard. So on to the racing. At the 2:30 Norfolk Stakes, plenty of runners as usual. The favourite, I don't really think it's a good favourite. Form boosted by Frederick Engels, yes, but that was before Frederick Engels started to improve, and Frederick Engels improved £20 after that run, and so the form I think is a bit suspect. So if you're using that form as your main rating for the fab, I wouldn't. One thing you can say in this race is that plenty of pace, and I think you've got to stick to those drawn high. Um, a lot of horses still can improve considerably what they've done so far, but if you want to know what my selection in this race are, you're going to have to subscribe. You're going to have to get into your wallet, get some dosh on the table, and subscribe. And hopefully, then I'll give you some winners. 305, Ribblesdale, again a race to be wary of because the fillies, and as we saw from yesterday's results, not good bet mediums. Banning Pyre is totally consistent, but I think if you delve into the form, she's been pretty well placed to win some of those races, and I think her form is weak. Dorcas Lane must be the apple of Lucy Wadham's eye. She's improved steadily with every run, but will need, once again, to find more to win this. And the same thing applies to Ayers. She needs to find more. The two with the best form in the race so far and still improving are Zane Alberdown with the enforcer, Kieran Fallon on board. She didn't handle Epsom last time, and prior to that, she was improving and would have a major chance. And Rum, who will be given a typical Frankie front running ride on a course that he loves and that will suit. But as I keep saying, I don't bet in fillies races. I'm going to have a small reverse exact on those two just to have an interest in the race and hope they run well. Ascot Gold Cup is one of the races that's close to my heart. I remember when I was little, when I was growing up, watching this with my granddad, watching Lester giving master classes to other jockeys in races when he won on Sagara, I think 3 times, Le Mans a couple of times, and Ardross 3 times. But sadly, it seems to have lost a bit of its esteem now with the breeders and trainers, and now generally it's won by a horse hasn't quite made it over the shorter Derby trip. Today's turnout's fairly moderate, really, for a 150 grand prize, but something's got to win. So let's have a try. Like a few other horses, I think the move to rookie trainer David O'Malley's stable has revitalised Blue Bajan, but I think still he'll struggle to overturn the form with Duncan, even allowing the distances more. Fame and Glory, not for me. Going to be my place lay of the day. He's won his last two races under Jamie Spencer, but again, moderate races, and can't really say impressed. He won, but didn't impress. And for him to be favourite at a pretty short price, not for me. Going to be a lay. He's not in the same form as he was when they won the coronation last year at Epsom. Alberg has to improve again to turn the form around with Blue Bajan, which hasn't seemed likely really, not really looked like he was. Manigar looked like he would struggle to turn tables on Duncan as well, even on revised terms. The three I like are Duncan, Tasdale, and Matrice. Duncan, you have to have a worry about the trip, suiting this horse's front running style. Tasdale, 7 now, been here before, not likely to improve, but racing as good as last year, in which he got beat. But at least you know you get a run for your money. But I'm going to have a small bet on the filly Matrice. I backed her a couple of times last year, and I think with another winter on the back this year, she's grown a little bit. And I'm going to have a small bet on her, and I'm going to have a place Leon Flame, Fame and Glory, and I'm going to do a combination exacta with those three. But it's hard. I'm not giving them out of selections because the fillies races, and I don't give out. I don't do those. Britannia Stakes. It's been a lucky race for me over the last few seasons, so let's see if we can do it again. Belgian Bill, well drawn, but needs to improve plenty to get in the money here. Common Touch has the best form in the race, with Lee Topless taking off £5 as well, and would have been the selection if it had been better drawn. But I think the draw has scuppered his chances. But if it looks like the rain's got into the ground and the draw bias has changed dramatically, I'll be having a save on him. Sagramore, consistent, but nothing special, and not particularly any better than a lot of horses in the race have got bigger prices. So again, not for me. Captain Bertie, interesting. Don't think he handled the track at Chester last time when he got beat odds on, and I think you'll see a different horse here. But whether he's good enough, I don't know. And again, he's badly drawn. Chain Lightning, surprisingly for me, is the use pick from the Adam runners, but once again, draw's not been kind. It's still in the upgrade, but I don't think they can overcome the draw. So I've narrowed it down to 4 runners that I think have all the attributes to win, but you've got to subscribe to find out what they are and what my selection is. So get on there at Betting League and get subscribed to my tips. 5 o'clock, Centenary, to Century Stakes. Alkimos has been well placed to learn in a couple of weakish races and might show the benefit here today, but he's not looked a world beater, so not for me. Marksmanship is another horse, priced upon connections and what he might be able to do. I don't like to guess. I like to see the form in the book, and I don't want to guess on a horse at such a short price, so not for me. Lad's Huge is the horse with the strongest form on paper, but he looked a bit tricky last time, and not one for having a big bet on, I don't think. Slumber is, again, progressive, and ran well last time without looking at home on the tight Chester track, and could improve some more here. So if I were having a bet, I'd go along with Tasdale, who looks the most likely to produce his form again, but a no race bet for me. 5:35, one of the hardest races of the week, the King George Handicap, but usually, ironically, won by one of the 4 runners in the betting. Purification doesn't look good enough on any form, and the same applies to Fallon-ridden Dana and Communicator, though at least has the form over the trip. Apache from the O'Brien yard is weight to the hill, and even with JP O'Brien taking £3 off, looks to have an hard task. Sub-Pacifique struggled to beat perennial second Mika Mika, along with some other horse that beat Mika Mika, and that form doesn't look good enough. Eternal Heart and Charles Cameron both have chances, but they're drawn out right out in the car park, so they'll struggle from there unless they go the Willie Carson route. Once again, I've narrowed it down to 3 runners, but alas, you need to get your hands in your pocket and subscribe to some of these tips to find out what's going to win, and hopefully you'll make some profit. Speak to you again.